Thank you, as always, for clicking on Weather for Weather Geeks. This is the evening edition for Thursday, April the 30th. We're getting set to head into May tomorrow, and things are looking up as we head into the upcoming weekend. I've been talking about this for a while, that after a cool stretch, we're going to head into a much warmer stretch of weather starting this weekend and taking us into next week. We'll talk about the longer range in just a second. As I record this this evening at about a quarter after 7, this is what the radar loop looked like at that point. We've had some light rain around the valley during the course of the day today. During the morning and early afternoon, most of this was hanging out over in parts of Mercer and Lawrence counties. But as we've gone deeper into the day, finally everything's kind of pivoting back to the west. You know, you look at this and you can kind of pick out a counterclockwise circulation. There is, in fact, a somewhat weak area of low pressure across parts of southeast Ohio and into West Virginia, and everything's just sort of pivoting around that low. Well, what happens as we head into the overnight is that all of this is going to follow that low, and it's going to head out to sea, it looks like. Here's a look at the 500 millibar chart. I've showed this a couple of times this week, kind of a snapshot of things up at about 18,000 feet, and real easy to pick out what's going on here. There's our big upper low, and this is heading in this direction right here. So as it continues pushing south and east, not only the upper low, but that weak surface low is going to take the precipitation and move it away from our area, and we will see some sunshine, it looks like, as we head into the day tomorrow. Temperatures across the country this evening, well, it's easy to see where that upper low is. It's cool underneath that. We only got up to 52 at the airport today, and once the showers pushed in late in the afternoon, temperatures actually tumbled back into the 40s. It's only 46 degrees here in the 7 o'clock hour at the Youngstown Warren Airport, and this is easily one of the cool spots across the country. Look at the warmth spiking out across the Plain States, down into the deep south. And yeah, they're pushing 100 down in the southwest here in late afternoon in Phoenix. 96 degrees there at Sky Harbor Airport, and about 100 in southeastern parts of California. So we're one of the real cool spots this afternoon and this evening, but that is going to change, of course, over the next couple of days. All right, let's take a look at our Friday. Tomorrow is the 1st, of course, and let's look ahead here to 8 a.m. Here's the surface map. As you can see, the showers are gone, and you can analyze a little area of high pressure out to our west across parts of Illinois and Iowa and Missouri. That high will kind of drift around, and it's basically what's responsible for giving us the real nice weather starting tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, looking high and dry. Show you that 500 millibar chart again, and there's our upper low, getting set to head off the coast of North Carolina, taking all the lousy weather with it. So as we head into the weekend, you know, it's going to be a great weekend. I think there will be some clouds around as we head into the weekend, and there's a couple reasons for that. Let me actually show you the NAM model here. This is the upper level. This is the 500 millibar chart again, and notice the kind of the kink right here. These lines kind of bending downwards. That's a little disturbance rippling along, kind of like a ripple on a pond, moving across the region. And while it's not going to bring any precipitation Saturday, it will stir up some clouds, and so we'll call it a mix of sun and clouds on Saturday. It's not going to take away from the day at all. It's still going to be a real nice day. And as we go ahead to Sunday, another little bend or kink here. This one's a little less intense, so I think Sunday's probably somewhat sunnier than Saturday. But, you know, we're splitting hairs here. No matter which way you slice it, it's going to be a really, really nice weekend. Temperature-wise this weekend, this is Sunday. Let's go ahead and look at Sunday, the hottest or the warmest part of the day. The NAM here, a little conservative with about 70. I think we've got a shot at being warmer than that. Here's the GFS showing about 70, 71. I think 73, 74 is achievable with a lot of sunshine coming up on Sunday. Look at the warmth building on Sunday out across the Plain States. And a chunk of that's certainly going to come east on Monday. Check out these temperatures Monday afternoon. We're getting into some of these really warm colors, so, you know, we might flirt with 76, 77 Monday afternoon. There is going to be a front next week, and I talked about this in Weather Geeks yesterday. There's going to be a front that stalls somewhere across the Great Lakes states early next week. This is Monday on the GFS, showing that front kind of right through here. It's probably far enough north that not only are we really warm Monday, but we'll probably stay dry. Don't really buy this green, this precipitation that the GFS is spitting out here. So we're going to keep Monday's forecast dry, but I think rain chances will tend to increase then as we go into midweek. Here's a look at Tuesday. The front's probably trying to sag a little bit. So some showers, maybe some thunderstorms that day. Next Wednesday, kind of the same idea. That front's going to be somewhere nearby, Probably a pretty cloudy day, probably a decent chance to see some showers and thunderstorms. But this front, which by Wednesday is going to be kind of hanging out like this, is going to start lifting back north, I think, towards the end of next week. It'll lift back north as a warm front. And so a week from today, on the at the end of next week, that would be the 7th, right? Yeah. We're talking, some real warm weather, I suspect, as this front continues lifting off to the north, so that as we head into, say, next Friday, let's see what the GFS temperatures are showing us next Friday. It's showing lower 70s, but the European model says almost 80. I'm kind of leaning towards that warmer idea on the European model. Warm-looking pattern at the end of next week. Look at all that deep southerly flow out here across the middle of the country ahead of low pressure pushing out of the Rockies. So nicer things are coming for next week. That much is for certain, it looks like at this point. A little word here on the global weather patterns. You may have heard that we're officially in an El Nino pattern now, and that's El Nino is a warm bubble of water in the eastern Pacific banked up against South America. You can see that right here. The other thing to note, it's still very warm, the water temperatures off the coast of western North America. That warm pool off the west coast, it was one of the drivers of the cold winter we just had and the cold winter we had last year. As long as that pool of warmth is off the west coast, it really favors a pattern in which ridges of high pressure in the atmosphere try to form on near the west coast. And when you have a ridge near the west coast, a lot of times in the mean weather pattern, you have a trough in the eastern U.S. And, I don't see that changing as we head into summer. So is it going to be a chilly summer? I wouldn't quite say that at this point, but are we going to have a hard time getting a lot of heat waves? Yeah, I think so. I don't think this will be a summer that's characterized by frequent heat waves. We're going to have some hot days, sure, but the pattern overall, it's going to be hard to maintain heat for more than a couple of days when you have this type of setup with the ocean atmosphere interaction in the eastern parts of the Pacific. Last summer was remembered as a cool summer, especially in July. It actually got kind of hot at the end of August, early September, but the heart of summer last year was not very warm. Will we have a repeat of that this year? It's a little too early to say. I'm just what I want to get across to you is we're going to have a hard time having prolonged periods of heat again this summer. That's the Thursday evening weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11. Friday afternoon's Weather Geeks will be posted in the afternoon instead of the evening. So I will see you then. Have a great night.